Have you ever laced up your shoes believing that every step would bring you closer to better health and independence as you enter your later decades? It is a simple image that many of us carry in our mind, a face against the wind and a face against the wind, steady rhythm under a wide open sky. Yet, what if I tell you that something as ordinary as a walk could hide unseen dangers that strike long after you hang up your shoes? Walking has long been celebrated as one of the safest forms of exercise for mature adults. It is gentle on the joints and powerful enough to boost circulation, mood, and overall well-being. Most experts agree that a daily walk can help maintain heart health, support healthy weight, and even sharpen mental focus. Yet, this simple ritual can become a silent threat if done without the right precautions. In this new series, we will explore 20 specific patterns, habits, and moments related to walking that may quietly increase your risk of serious health events, including stroke. We will begin by shining a light on the unseen risks that emerge during hours of sleep. We will then examine how timing, posture, hydration surroundings, and many other factors combine to shape your overall safety. The danger I speak of does not announce itself with a dramatic gasp or urgent flash. You will not feel chest pain swinging like a warning siren or notice an overwhelming fatigue screaming at you to stop. Instead, the risk may sit quietly, in symbol, your blood vessels only to reveal itself in the early morning when you wake unable to move one side of your body or speak a word. Over the next 20 chapters, we will break down each of these hidden dangers step by step. In each part, we will focus on one hidden factor, then discuss why it matters and how you can adjust your routine to walk with confidence and peace of mind. We will draw on real-life stories from patients who faced these risks head-on and emerged with lessons that could help you preserve both independence and well-being. You will learn which times of day pose the highest risk and why your brain is most vulnerable at night. You will discover how dehydration, sun exposure, uneven surfaces, and posture all feed into a complex web of threats. You will see how even well-meaning habits, like walking after a heavy meal or going out alone without company, could create conditions for serious events. This series is not meant to scare you away from the benefits of walking. It is meant to empower you with the knowledge to protect yourself at every step. Whether you are a lifelong walker or just starting to adopt a daily stroll, there are concrete adjustments you can make right now to reduce risk and maintain the joy of movement. Each section will include clear, practical guidance so that you can apply what you learn immediately. You will find tips on hydration, timing, shoes, posture, companion strategies, monitoring, and more. You will also gain insights into when to seek professional advice and how to recognize early warning signs before it is too late. If you value your health independence and the freedom that comes with a clear mind and a strong body, stay with us through the full series. When you reach the final part, you will have assembled a comprehensive toolkit to walk smarter, safer, and stronger. Welcome to the first step in a journey that could change the way you walk forever. Many older adults cherish their daily walk as a symbol of freedom and health, but often overlook a simple but crucial element: water. Staying properly hydrated before, during, and after a walk is not merely about comfort. It is about keeping blood thin enough to flow smoothly through the body. Dehydration can creep in unnoticed, especially for those whose natural sense of thirst has diminished with age. A brisk stroll around the block may leave you feeling fine in the moment, yet set the stage for serious complications later. When blood becomes thick and sluggish, as we grow older, our kidneys lose some of their filtering power, and our bodies retain less fluid. This means that even a short walk without drinking enough water can reduce blood volume and increase the concentration of red blood cells. When blood becomes more viscous or sticky, small clots can form in the bloodstream. These tiny clots may not cause symptoms immediately, but they can travel to critical areas of the brain where they block oxygen and trigger strokes often during pristering sleep when heart rate and blood pressure naturally fluctuate. I recall a patient I will call Mr. Jameson, who took pride in walking 2 miles each afternoon in cool mountain air. He refused to carry a water bottle, believing it would slow him down. He felt energized by the exercise and assumed that a glass of water at dinner was sufficient. Then one morning, his wife found him unable to speak with one side of his face drooping. His stroke was traced back to chronic dehydration over months of outdoor walks without adequate fluid intake. Blood tests showed elevated viscosity and evidence of microclots forming overnight. To avoid this hidden danger, drink at least 6 to 8 ounces of water before you set out on a walk. Carry a lightweight water bottle or use a hydration pouch that fits comfortably at your side. Sip water regularly rather than waiting until you feel thirsty. By the time thirst strikes, dehydration has already begun. After your walk, drink another glass of water and consider adding a pinch of salt or a splash of natural fruit juice to help your body absorb fluids more effectively. Listen for early warning signs of dehydration such as dry mouth, dizziness, or fatigue, and make hydration a deliberate part of your routine. Walking without proper hydration is like driving on a dusty road without oil. It can damage critical machinery over time and lead to sudden breakdowns. A healthy walk depends on steady blood flow to your brain and body. By making water a non-negotiable companion, you protect yourself from the silent threat of clot formation and ensure that each step contributes to well-being rather than risk. Take this simple action and walk confidently, knowing you have reduced a major hidden hazard. Many older adults cherish their time outdoors and greet the morning sun with enthusiasm, believing that fresh air and gentle warmth will nourish both body and mind. Yet the very rays that lift spirits can also ignite silent inflammation within fragile blood vessels, especially for those who have spent decades under UV exposure. Without proper protection, what begins as a pleasant stroll may set in motion a cascade of vascular stress that increases the risk of clot formation and ultimately stroke. As we age, our skin loses elasticity and our blood vessels lose resilience. Ultraviolet radiation damages the inner lining of vessels, known as the endothelium, triggering oxidative stress and inflammation over time. This process is not limited to sunburn or skin damage. It extends deep into the vascular network, affecting the tiny arteries that supply oxygen to the brain. Repeated unprotected exposure leads to chronic irritation of vessel walls, narrowing their lumen and creating hotspots where platelets gather to form harmful clots. In healthy, younger individuals, the body can repair minor UV-induced damage with relative ease. But in mature adults, this repair mechanism slows considerably. Combined with pre-existing conditions such as high blood pressure or arterial bloody stiffness, the inflammation caused by unprotected sun exposure becomes a dangerous ally for clot formation. Without symptoms or warning, this chronic vascular stress can remain hidden until a clot dislodges and travels to the brain, often during sleep when blood pressure naturally dips and shifts. I still remember Mrs. Elaine Madsen, a lively 76-year-old widow who loved walking her small terrier in the late afternoon sun. She always wore light clothing and no hat, believing that a few minutes of sunshine was harmless. After months of these leisurely walks, she began to experience occasional dizziness and subtle vision changes. She dismissed these symptoms until one morning her daughter found her unable to speak, and with one side of her face drooping. Medical tests revealed no major plaque or heart irregularities, but did show markers of chronic endothelial inflammation and elevated C-reactive protein levels. Her routine, unprotected exposure had silently inflamed her vessels and triggered a clot that struck overnight. To protect yourself from this hidden hazard, begin by wearing a broad-brimmed hat that shades your face and neck, and choose clothing with lightweight long sleeves that cover exposed skin. When you walk, seek sunglasses with UV protection that wrap around the temples to guard the delicate vessels around your eyes. Avoid peak sunshine hours between 10 in the morning and 4 in the afternoon, when UV intensity is highest, and consider timing your walks for early morning or late afternoon, when the sun is gentler. In addition, applying a broad-spectrum sunscreen of at least 30 SPF to exposed areas can reduce UV damage. Remember that water and reflective surfaces amplify UV exposure. Even on cloudy days, UV rays penetrate clouds and can inflame blood vessels. Without you feeling heat or sunburn, listen to your body and heed early signs of vascular irritation, such as persistent fatigue, dizziness, or mild headaches after sun exposure. If these symptoms occur, adjust your routine and seek shade to allow your body to recover. By treating sun protection as seriously as hydration and timing, you strengthen your defenses against inflammation and clot formation. Each step taken under shielded conditions not only preserves the health of your skin, but also maintains the integrity of the vessels that feed your brain. Walking is a gift to your body and mind. When you pair it with smart sun safety, you ensure that gift remains a source of vitality rather than risk. Walking alone can feel like liberation and peace for many mature adults, but this solitude carries a hidden danger. Without someone else present, the earliest signs of a serious health event, such as a stroke, can go unnoticed. Many strokes begin with fleeting symptoms that are subtle and easy to dismiss when you are alone. A slight slurring of speech, a moment of confusion, or a sudden heaviness in one arm may feel like nothing more than a passing oddity. Yet these are the telltale whispers of a transient ischemic attack or early stroke. The human brain relies on a continuous active dialogue with the body to maintain safe function. When that dialogue is interrupted by a small clot or drop in blood flow, even a few seconds of reduced oxygen can start a cascade of damage. In a group setting, or with a trusted companion, these silent signals might prompt immediate assistance. However, when you walk solo, those fleeting moments may pass without intervention, delaying treatment until it is too late. Consider the case of Mr. Leonard Baines, a widower in his mid-70s, who treasured his morning routine of walking through his quiet neighborhood. He carried no phone, wore no medical alert device, and welcomed the calm of solitude. One frosty winter morning, he felt a sudden wave of dizziness and noticed that his right leg would not respond as usual. He paused on a park bench until he felt steady again, then continued home, believing that rest had solved the problem. The next day, he awoke with garbled speech and severe weakness on one side. His family rushed him to the hospital, where scans confirmed a cerebral embolism triggered by an unrecognized mini-stroke days earlier. Modern stroke therapies rely on early detection and swift action. Medications that dissolve clots are most effective within 3 to 4 hours of symptom onset. Without witnesses, those critical hours can slip away in silence. The consequences can range from lasting physical impairments to life-threatening outcomes. Walking alone may feel safe until it is not, and the absence of a companion can turn a manageable event into a crisis. To protect yourself, reimagine your walking routine as a shared activity, even if you prefer solitude. Begin by inviting a friend, family member, or neighbor to join you once or twice a week. This simple change adds a second set of eyes that can catch early warning signs and call for help if needed. If companionship is not available, consider joining a local walking group or community exercise program. Many senior centers, parks, and faith-based organizations host regular walks designed for older adults. At a minimum, carry a mobile phone in a visible pocket or wear a medical alert bracelet equipped with fall detection and emergency call features. Share your route and expected return time with a trusted contact who can check on you if you are overdue. Set simple reminders on your watch or phone to pause and perform a quick self-check for speech clarity, limb strength, and balance. These practices create a safety net even when you walk alone. By transforming solitude into shared vigilance, you preserve both the freedom and the security of your walks. The act of walking remains empowering and beneficial, but now it carries the added assurance that someone is there to support you at the first sign of trouble. Walk alongside caution and companionship so that each step brings you closer to health, confidence, and peace of mind. Many older adults believe a walk after dinner aids digestion and calms the mind. But leaving the table and walking too soon after a heavy evening meal can divert blood from the brain to the digestive organs, creating unseen risks. When we eat a rich meal, blood is sent to the stomach and intestines in a process called postprandial hyperemia. In mature bodies with stiff arteries or high blood pressure, this shift can lower blood flow to the brain and cause sluggish circulation. Walking also requires extra blood flow for muscles and balance. Combined with digestion, this competition may lead to small clots forming in narrow or stiff vessels. These microclots often travel to the brain during sleep when blood pressure rises and trigger strokes without warning. Consider Mrs. Harriet Colson, a retired teacher who loved hearty dinners of roast meat, potatoes, and gravy. She would set out for a brisk stroll within minutes of finishing her meal. She woke one night, unable to speak, and with weakness on one side. Her doctors linked her ischemic stroke to thickened blood and elevated nighttime pressure caused by her routine. To lower this risk, wait at least 90 minutes after a heavy meal before walking. If you need activity sooner, choose gentle indoor tasks such as stretching or light housework. Keep dinners lighter with lean proteins, vegetables, and whole grains. Avoid large portions of fats and sugars. When you do walk, choose a slow pace on flat ground and listen to your body. If you feel dizzy, overly tired, or experience head pressure, pause your activity and rest. Talk to your doctor about safe exercise timing and ask about monitoring your blood pressure patterns overnight. This guidance ensures your healthy habits align with your individual health needs. By timing your walks and meals wisely, you reduce pressure on delicate vessels and help blood flow steadily where it belongs. These simple adjustments preserve both your independence and brain health so you can continue enjoying evening routines safely. Approximately half a century spent under gravity and decades of cautious steps can lead to what feels like natural posture shifts for mature adults. Shoulders round forward, the neck tilts down, and the chin moves closer to the chest. What seems a minor habit may in fact restrict crucial blood flow to the brain. The carotid arteries run along both sides of the neck, delivering oxygen-rich blood from the heart upward. When the head tilts forward, those arteries are compressed and blood flow can drop significantly. This compression creates turbulence along vessel walls, encouraging platelets to accumulate and form clots. In older adults, whose arteries may already be narrowed by plaque, even a slight reduction in arterial diameter can lead to dangerous decreases in perfusion. Reduced flow also raises the risk of clot migration. When a clot dislodges, it can travel directly to the brain, causing a stroke often while you sleep and lack sensory feedback. I think of Mr. Albert Knox, a retired accountant who experienced a frightening transient ischemic attack during his morning walk. He had developed a habit of gazing at the ground to avoid uneven pavement. His head remained flexed forward at nearly a 45-degree angle throughout his walk. A carotid ultrasound performed while he held that posture showed his arterial flow dropped by nearly 20%. Within days, one of those compressed vessels released a small clot, traveled to his brain, causing brief but alarming symptoms of right-side weakness, blurred vision, and difficulty speaking. To counter this risk, begin by consciously lifting your gaze about 10 or 15 feet ahead rather than looking down at your feet. Gently draw your shoulders back and imagine a string pulling the crown of your head upward. Consider using walking poles which encourage an upright stance and distribute weight more evenly. Incorporating simple chin tucks and upper back stretches into your daily routine can strengthen the muscles that support proper alignment. Physical therapy focused on posture correction can help retrain muscle memory. Even a few minutes of practice each day can yield improvements in arterial flow and reduce strain. When you walk, Remain aware of how your body feels. If you notice neck tension or forward head tilt, pause and reset your posture. Each step taken with an aligned spine ensures oxygen-rich blood flows unimpeded to your brain and reduces the silent threat of compression, induced clot formation. Many mature adults select footwear based on ease and style rather than support and circulation. They may slip into canvas shoes or soft flats without realizing how those choices affect blood flow and balance. Over time, thin soles and poor arch support can compress veins in the lower leg, slowing the return of blood to the heart and brain. When venous return is restricted, even mildly small clots may form in deep vessels and travel upward, causing silent threats that can trigger a stroke without warning. As we age, the fat pads on our heels thin and arches tend to flatten. Shoes that once felt flexible can become rigid and unforgiving. A tight toe box compresses nerves and blood vessels, while a flat or worn sole alters gait and posture. Each step in these shoes forces muscles and joints to compensate, creating stress on ankles, knees, hips, and ultimately the spine. These misalignments increase turbulence in the arteries feeding the brain, encouraging platelet activity and clot formation. I remember Mrs. Jeannie Rohr, a retired librarian who favored slip-on canvas flats for her morning walks. She found them convenient and lightweight, but over months began to feel tingling in her toes and mild calf pain. One day after her walk, she lost her balance, stepped awkwardly, and fell. In the hospital, she was diagnosed with a deep vein clot that likely formed overnight and a small cerebellar stroke. Her doctors traced the clot to weeks of poor circulation caused by unsupportive shoes compressing her foot veins. To protect yourself, choose shoes with firm arch support cushioning and a slight heel rise rather than fully flat soles. Make sure the toe box allows space for your toes to spread naturally. Avoid narrow or pointed designs that pinch tissues and restrict blood vessels. Replace shoes every 6 to 12 months or sooner if you notice uneven wear. Test new footwear on a flat surface to ensure even contact and no pressure points. Consider visiting a podiatrist or physical therapist for a gait analysis and custom orthotic recommendations. Rotating between 2 or more pairs of supportive shoes can reduce repetitive stress on the same areas of your feet. If you walk daily, keep one pair for exercise and another for casual use to extend the life of each pair and maintain proper support. Simple stretches for the calves, feet, and ankles can complement good footwear by improving circulation and flexibility. Lift your toes while standing to activate the muscles along the top of your foot and lower leg. Roll your ankles gently in circles to ease tightness. These exercises, combined with the right shoes, help maintain healthy venous return and reduce clot risk. Your choice of footwear matters more than you may imagine. Proper shoes preserve foot comfort, balance, joint alignment, and most importantly, the safe flow of blood from your legs to your brain. Each step you take in supportive shoes builds a foundation for independence and long-lasting health. Walking on undulating trails, cracked sidewalks, and sloping lawns may seem like a refreshing variation from flat pavement, but for mature adults, these irregular surfaces bring unseen strains. Each shift in terrain demands sudden adjustments in balance and blood pressure. When you ascend an incline, your heart must work harder, sending blood to active muscles and skin. When you descend a slope, gravity pulls you forward and forces your joints to break. Each rise and fall triggers rapid heart rate changes and pressure surges that travel through arteries, eventually reaching delicate vessels in your brain. As we age, baroreceptors, the sensors that regulate our blood pressure, become less responsive. In youthful bodies, a sudden spike or drop in pressure is moderated almost instantly. In mature systems, that reflex is slower, causing prolonged periods of high force against vessel walls. This shearing stress can dislodge plaque or encourage microclot formation in narrow or stiff arteries. Tiny clots often travel silently, then lodge in cerebral vessels during sleep or rest, leading to stroke without warning. One patient I recall walked the same rural path each morning with pride, yet he ignored subtle warnings. Mr. Raymond Ellis, a former inspector, enjoyed a forest trail with gentle hills, loose gravel, and exposed tree roots. One damp morning after a heavy rain, the path was slippery. He felt his heart pound and experienced a moment of blurred vision, but assumed it was fatigue. Hours later, his neighbor found him confused, slurring words, and unable to walk without support. Medical tests showed multiple clots and pressure spikes were the likely cause. To reduce this hazard, choose flat, even routes such as school tracks, indoor mall corridors, or paved park promenades. If hills are unavoidable, pause before and after each incline to allow your blood pressure to stabilize. Use walking poles or a cane to distribute weight and improve balance. Wear shoes with strong traction and ankle support, and consider walking with a companion who can assist if you falter. Hydrate before and after your walk to maintain blood volume and stiffness. By choosing predictable surfaces and pacing yourself, you can enjoy varied scenery without endangering your vascular health. Each step on solid, even paths ensures your heart and vessels can adapt safely and helps prevent silent pressure, spikes, and clots. Walk wisely on stable ground and preserve your independence for many years to come. Remember that safety begins with awareness. Inspect your chosen path before stepping and adapt to conditions each day. Walking on stable ground empowers you to reap all the benefits of walking while avoiding hidden hazards. In a world filled with noise and constant distraction, walking may seem like the perfect time to think, listen to music, or catch up on a favorite podcast. But for mature adults, walking while distracted carries significant risks. Your brain is managing posture, balance, breathing, and navigation all at once. Adding another layer, such as listening to a story or talking on the phone, can divide attention in ways that reduce physical awareness and reaction time. As we age, our ability to process multiple signals at once diminishes. What was once effortless multitasking becomes more taxing on the nervous system. Walking itself already challenges the brain to coordinate muscles, monitor surroundings, maintain equilibrium. Distraction pulls mental resources away from these vital tasks. Small but important signals like slight numbness, facial weakness, or a brief slur in speech might go unnoticed while your mind is focused elsewhere. I remember Donna Harwick, a retired teacher who enjoyed listening to true crime stories during her morning walk. She wore headphones daily and felt the routine kept her mentally sharp. One day she stumbled slightly and felt an odd sensation in her left foot. She kept walking, thinking it was just stiffness. A passing neighbor noticed something was wrong and called for help. Donna had suffered a stroke. Her early symptoms had gone unnoticed because her attention was elsewhere. This does not mean you must walk in silence, but it does mean you should prioritize awareness over entertainment. Choose walking times for mental presence, not multitasking. Avoid wearing headphones, especially in busy or uneven areas. If you must listen to something, use only one earbud at low volume and keep your eyes scanning your path. If a phone call is necessary, stop walking, stand safely, and then engage in conversation. Make walking a moment of mindfulness. Notice how your body feels with each step. Check in with your breath, your posture, and your vision. If something feels off, stop and evaluate. Do not dismiss even subtle changes, like sudden fatigue imbalance or strange sensations. These could be early warnings your brain is trying to send you, and attention may be your best defense. By walking with focus, you give your brain the space to detect early signs of trouble and protect you from harm. You also allow yourself to fully experience the act of moving your body in a conscious and healthy way. Distraction may seem harmless, but for older adults, it can delay response to stroke symptoms when every minute counts. Walk with intention and give your brain the attention it needs to keep you safe. A quiet evening walk under a darkening sky often feels like the safest and most relaxing part of the day. For many mature adults, it becomes a treasured ritual, a way to reflect, digest, or wind down before sleep. But walking too late in the Radhavaswai evening, especially after dinner, may silently disrupt your nervous system and blood pressure rhythm, setting the stage for danger in the early hours of the morning. Physical activity stimulates the sympathetic nervous system, the part of the body responsible for alertness, energy, and readiness. This is helpful during the day, but problematic when triggered at night. A late walk elevates heart rate, increases adrenaline, and constricts blood vessels just as the body should be shifting into rest and recovery. When this stimulation continues past bedtime, the result can be a spike in blood pressure during REM sleep, a time when the brain is particularly vulnerable. Mr. Dennis Monroe, an 80-year-old veteran, was in excellent shape. He walked every night at 8, sometimes later believing it helped him sleep better. One morning he did not wake at his usual time. His wife found him in bed unresponsive. A clot had blocked a major artery in his brain overnight. Doctors traced the cause to a spike in nocturnal blood pressure, likely triggered by his late evening walks. To reduce this risk, finish your walk at least 2 hours before bedtime. This gives your body time to cool down and your nervous system time to settle. Choose morning or early afternoon for your main activity when blood pressure is naturally higher and your body is best prepared for movement. If you must walk in the evening, keep it gentle and brief. Avoid hilly or intense routes, and finish with slow breathing or stretching indoors. You can also support evening relaxation by dimming lights, lowering screen time, and engaging in calm rituals like reading or listening to soft music. These habits reinforce the body's natural sleep cues and help blood vessels relax in preparation for night. By adjusting the timing of your walks, you allow your heart and brain to follow their natural rhythms. You reduce stress on your vascular system and lower the chances of an overnight spike that could trigger clot formation and stroke. Walking remains a powerful tool for health, but only when done at the right time. Walk early, rest deeply, and protect your most important organ, your brain. Your posture may be steady and your timing perfect. But what about your breathing? Many mature adults walk with shallow, rapid breaths or even hold their breath during certain movements without realizing it. This seemingly minor habit can reduce oxygen delivery to the brain, elevate stress hormones, and subtly increase stroke risk over time. The way you breathe as you walk plays a vital role in maintaining calm circulation, balanced pressure, and clear mental focus. Breathing becomes less efficient with age. Lung elasticity decreases. The diaphragm may weaken, and posture changes can compress the chest cavity. These factors make it easier to fall into shallow chest breathing rather than deep, full breaths. When this happens, less oxygen reaches the bloodstream, forcing the heart to work harder and blood vessels to constrict. In individuals with vascular conditions or stiff arteries, this added strain may encourage clot formation. I recall Mr. Gerald Ayers, a retired pilot, who prided himself on his fitness, yet suffered frequent dizziness during his walks. He believed it was dehydration, but tests revealed oxygen saturation levels were dropping during activity. A respiratory therapist observed that he was holding his breath while walking uphill and breathing only into the top of his chest even on flat ground. Once he learned to engage his diaphragm, his symptoms faded, and his walking routine became much safer. To improve breathing practice, diaphragmatic breathing while sitting, place one hand on your chest and the other on your belly. Inhale through your nose, allowing your belly to rise more than your chest, then exhale slowly through pursed lips. When walking, aim for a rhythm that matches your steps. For example, inhale for 3 steps. Exhale for 3. Focus on smooth, even breaths, not gasping or rushing. Avoid walking while anxious or multitasking, as stress alters your breathing pattern into short, rapid cycles that elevate blood pressure. Walk at a pace that allows you to maintain full breaths comfortably. If you feel breathless, slow down, pause to reset your rhythm. Use nasal breathing when possible, as it warms, humidifies, and filters air more effectively than mouth breathing. Walking with deep, steady breaths not only enhances oxygen delivery, but also calms the nervous system, reduces blood pressure, and sharpens awareness. It is a powerful yet overlooked tool to protect brain health and maintain vascular stability. Embrace each breath as part of your stride and turn every walk into a full-body reset for both heart and mind. The clothing you wear during your walks might seem like a simple matter of comfort or weather, but for mature adults, it can have a deeper impact on circulation and stroke risk. Tight garments, especially around the waist, legs, or feet, can restrict blood flow and contribute to poor venous return. Just as poorly fitting shoes can increase clot risk, so too can clothing that subtly compresses the body in the wrong places without your awareness. Compression of veins, especially in the thighs or lower legs, slows the return of blood to the heart and can cause pooling in the extremities. When blood sits too long in one area, it thickens slightly, and clots are more likely to form. These clots may remain silent or travel upward, especially during rest and sleep, where they can block arteries in the brain. Tight elastic bands around socks, waistlines, or sleeves may seem harmless, but over time they create low-level circulation problems. Mrs. Edna Powell, a 72-year-old woman from North Carolina, enjoyed early morning walks wearing layered outfits to stay warm. She often wore compression leggings designed for shaping rather than medical support. After several weeks, she noticed tingling in her feet and swelling in her ankles. Thinking it was due to age, she ignored the signs. Eventually, she experienced a minor stroke at night. Her doctors found no heart issues, but did identify signs of chronic venous congestion. Her clothing choices had been silently restricting her circulation. To prevent this, avoid overly tight pants, leggings, or socks that leave marks on your skin after a walk. Choose soft, breathable materials that stretch but do not compress circulation. Check your garments while standing and sitting to ensure no pressure is applied to key arteries, especially at the waist back of knees and ankles. Choose socks with non-binding tops and clothing that moves freely with your body as you walk. In cooler weather, layer with lightweight fabrics and adjust as needed to prevent overheating or excessive sweating, which can lead to dehydration. Avoid synthetic materials that trap heat and moisture. Instead, select natural fibers, specialized athletic wear that wicks moisture and maintains comfort over time. Proper clothing allows for full range of motion, good air circulation, and optimal blood flow during activity. Think of your walking outfit not just as attire, but as part of your safety strategy. The right clothes help your body function smoothly and reduce unnecessary strain on your circulatory system. A walk that feels good on the outside should also support your body from within. Dress wisely, and your body will respond with balance, energy, and protection. The environment you walk in can either support your well-being or quietly chip away at it. Air quality is one of the most overlooked factors in outdoor exercise, especially for mature adults. When the air is filled with pollutants, allergens, or irritants, it can inflame your respiratory system, increase oxidative stress, and place extra strain on your heart and blood vessels. Even short walks in poor air conditions may trigger subtle inflammatory responses that contribute to clot formation and raise the risk of stroke. Older lungs are more sensitive to airborne particles. With age, the tiny hairs in the respiratory tract that filter air become less effective, and the immune system becomes slower to respond. Exposure to polluted air, even for 30 minutes, during a walk can lead to narrowed blood vessels, elevated blood pressure, and reduced oxygen delivery to the brain. These effects are even more pronounced in individuals with asthma, high blood pressure, or pre-existing heart conditions. Consider Mr. Charles Goodman, a former warehouse manager who enjoyed walking through his urban neighborhood every morning. He thought the morning traffic was light enough to avoid harm, but over time he began experiencing headaches and a tight chest after his walks. A home air quality monitor revealed that particulate levels during his walking hour were high due to nearby construction and commuter traffic. His doctor suggested changing his route and walking time. Within weeks, symptoms improved, and his blood pressure readings stabilized. To protect yourself, check local air quality indexes before heading out. Most smartphones and weather apps display this information in real time. Aim to walk when the air is cleaner, typically early in the morning before traffic builds or after a rain, when dust and particles have settled. Avoid walking near busy roads, industrial zones, or areas with active construction. Choose parks, greenways, or residential areas with trees, which naturally filter air. If you live in an area with consistently poor air, consider wearing a lightweight, breathable mask rated for particle filtration during your walks. You can also explore indoor walking alternatives on days when the air is unhealthy, such as in shopping malls, community centers, or even at home using walking videos or treadmills. Breathing clean air during exercise allows your heart and lungs to work efficiently and reduces inflammation throughout your body. A clear path for oxygen means a clear path for circulation and brain health. Make clean air a part of your walking routine and give your body the environment it needs to thrive. Most people do not think twice about the weight they carry while walking. But for mature adults, every extra pound in a backpack, handbag, or even heavy coat can influence posture, balance, and circulation. Carrying uneven or excessive weight may tilt the body to one side, compress the spine, and disrupt natural gait patterns. These changes can reduce blood flow, particularly to the neck and brain, and increase the risk of clots over time. As we age, muscles that once stabilized the core become weaker. The shoulders slump the back rounds, and the neck bears more strain. If you carry a heavy purse or shoulder bag daily, your spine may twist slightly with every step. That twist tugs at your neck muscles and can compress the carotid arteries, which are already vulnerable to narrowing in older adults. Over time, this compression adds to the likelihood of reduced blood flow to the brain. Mrs. Linda Carver, a retired nurse, used to carry a large leather handbag filled with books, snacks, and her tablet. She thought nothing of it until she began feeling tired and off balance during her daily walks. One afternoon, she experienced a dizzy spell and fell. Tests later showed no heart tissue, but mild carotid compression. Her walking pattern had been altered by years of unbalanced weight on one shoulder, without her knowing. To reduce this risk, keep any carried weight as light and evenly distributed as possible. Avoid shoulder bags and single-strap purses when walking. Instead, use a small backpack with padded straps worn on both shoulders. This allows weight to rest near your center of gravity and keeps posture aligned. If you only need keys, water, and a phone, consider a waist pack or lightweight crossbody bag that sits snug without pull. Check your coat or outerwear as well. Thick layers with filled pockets or heavy collars can restrict movement and affect posture. Choose garments that are warm but not bulky and allow freedom of motion if you carry water or snacks for longer. Walks use a pack designed for active movement, such as a hydration belt or vest that holds weight evenly. The goal is to walk freely with your head up, shoulders relaxed, and arms swinging naturally. Any weight that disrupts this flow can add strain and silently affect circulation. Adjust your gear so your body stays balanced and your blood flows without resistance. Walking light allows your brain to receive the oxygen it needs and your steps to remain steady and safe. Many mature adults pay attention to distance and pace when walking, but overlook one crucial detail: the surface beneath their feet. Different walking surfaces affect your body in different ways. and choosing the wrong one can quietly increase your risk of injury or stroke. Uneven gravel-sloped driveways, loose soil, or cracked sidewalks force your body to adjust constantly. Every misstep strains joints, affects posture, and disrupts blood flow, especially to the brain. With age, balance becomes more fragile and reflexes slow down. The small muscles in the ankles and feet that once adjusted quickly to terrain now respond more slowly. Each uneven surface triggers subtle shifts in body weight, which can challenge blood pressure regulation, especially in people with hypertension or circulatory issues. Even if you do not fall, your heart and brain may still be affected by these constant physical corrections. Mr. Stephen Ray, a retired postman, always believed in staying active. He chose to walk his old delivery route, which included steep driveways and broken pavement. One day, after walking on a particularly uneven trail, he felt his heart racing, his legs trembling. He collapsed at home later that night with a stroke. Doctors found no new heart condition, but suspected that the physical strain from navigating irregular surfaces had pushed his blood pressure too high and triggered clot formation. To walk safely, choose flat, even paths whenever possible. Tracks at local schools, indoor mall corridors, or park walkways offer safer footing. Avoid steep hills, loose gravel, or narrow sidewalks where every step feels uncertain. If walking, outdoors, check the path ahead for cracks, dips, or slick patches. If you must walk on uneven ground, use walking poles to provide stability and distribute effort across both arms and legs. Good footwear is also essential. Shoes with strong grip, arch support, and cushioned soles help your body absorb shock and maintain balance. Do not walk in flip-flops. Thin sandals or shoes that do not secure your foot properly. These may worsen instability and increase fall risk. A stable surface lets your body move naturally, keeps your posture aligned, and allows steady blood flow to your brain. When your feet feel safe, your mind stays calm, and your circulation flows freely. Choose smooth, steady ground so each step supports your health and not your risk. For many older adults, stretching is an afterthought or skipped altogether. Yet failing to stretch before and after walking may quietly contribute to poor circulation, muscle tightness, and postural strain, which in turn can affect blood flow to the brain. Stretching keeps muscles supple, encourages oxygen delivery, and helps maintain the flexibility needed for safe, confident movement. As joints stiffen with age, skipping stretches can lead to shortened stride, uneven gait, and higher stroke risk over time. Tight hamstrings, hips, and calves can tilt the pelvis or cause the back to round, forcing the neck to lean forward. This subtle change in posture reduces space for arteries in the neck to deliver blood to the brain, just as poor alignment during sitting can compress circulation. Poor walking posture compounded by tight muscles has the same effect. Clots are more likely to form in areas of reduced movement and compressed vessels, especially when combined with dehydration, existing vascular issues. Mrs. Carol Mwyn, a 74-year-old gardener, loved brisk morning walks but never stretched. She began feeling tingling in her fingers after walking and once briefly lost her balance. Her doctor found no inner ear issue but observed tight neck and shoulder muscles compressing arteries in a forward-leaning posture. A physical therapist helped her develop a gentle stretching routine that improved her posture and restored circulation. Her symptoms never returned. Start each walk with 5 to 10 minutes of light stretching. Focus on major muscle groups, the calves, hamstrings, hip flexors, and upper back. Perform gentle neck rolls, shoulder shrugs, and arm swings to loosen the spine. After your walk, cool down with standing quad stretches and deep breathing to relax the nervous system. Avoid bouncing or forcing positions. Hold each stretch for at least 15 to 20 seconds and breathe deeply throughout. If you feel stiff after sitting, use a short warm-up to wake up the joints. March in place. Lift your knees gently or swing your arms to activate circulation. Stretching should never cause pain, only mild tension that eases with breath. The goal is to prepare your body to move freely and recover smoothly from activity. Regular stretching protects your ability to walk with comfort, balance, and strong circulation. It reduces stress on arteries, aligns posture, and supports long-term independence. Let each stretch be a reminder that preparation matters and that even small habits create lasting health. Many mature adults treat walking as a form of exercise, and rightly so, but they often overlook the role of rest between walks. Without adequate recovery time, even gentle walking can place cumulative stress on blood vessels, joints, and the blood vessels. Nervous system. Just like any physical activity, walking requires periods of rest to allow the body to repair, support circulation, and rebalance blood pressure rhythms. When rest is ignored, the body operates in a state of low-grade strain, which can quietly elevate stroke risk. Older bodies take longer to recover from activity. The heart needs more time to return to baseline blood pressure, and muscles need more oxygen to clear metabolic byproducts. If you walk every day at the same intensity without variation or downtime, you may unknowingly build pressure inside arteries, particularly in the neck and head. This chronic tension can reduce arterial flexibility and make small clots more likely to form and lodge where blood flow slows during rest or sleep. Mr. Isaac Hamilton, a 70-year-old former mechanic, walked 5 miles every day without rest. Thinking consistency was key, he began to experience mild headaches at night and felt unusually tired during the day. A doctor's visit showed elevated blood pressure and signs of vascular fatigue caused by overtraining and insufficient recovery. A walking coach helped him redesign his routine by including rest days and lighter walks. His energy returned and his symptoms faded. To protect yourself, structure your walking schedule with built-in recovery. Include 1 or 2 full rest days each week and vary the length and intensity of your walks. Alternate long walks with shorter ones, or include gentle strolls in place of your usual route. Use rest days to stretch, hydrate, and focus on sleep quality, which is vital for vascular repair. Monitor how your body feels, not just during your walks, but after. Pay attention to lingering fatigue, muscle soreness, dizziness, or poor sleep. These are signs your body needs a break. Rest does not mean doing nothing. It means giving your body the time and space it needs to restore blood flow, reduce inflammation, and protect brain function. True health is not just about movement, but about balance. Knowing when to walk and when to pause is a form of wisdom that comes with age. Let your rest be intentional and empowering. A rested body walks stronger, breathes easier, and protects your brain with every step. Temperature may seem like a background detail when planning a walk, but for older adults, it plays a major role in circulation and blood pressure and stroke risk. Both hot and cold conditions affect how blood moves through the body and how hard the heart must work to maintain balance. Walking without adjusting for temperature can silently stress blood vessels and create conditions for clots to form or blood pressure to spike. In hot weather, your body tries to cool itself by sending more blood to the skin and sweating to release heat. This causes blood volume to drop, especially if you're not well hydrated. When blood becomes concentrated and thick, it flows more slowly and is more prone to clotting. This is particularly dangerous in those with narrowed arteries or a history of vascular disease who already have reduced blood flow to the brain. Cold weather brings different challenges. Cold constricts blood vessels, especially in the hands, feet, and face, forcing the heart to work harder to push blood through a narrower path. This can cause sudden spikes in blood pressure and increase the risk of plaque rupture or clot release. Walking briskly in very cold air can strain the heart and lungs, especially if you're not properly warmed up or dressed for the conditions. Mrs. Evelyn Bright, an energetic woman in her late 60s, walked every morning regardless of season 1 winter. She took her usual route on a freezing, windy day, without gloves or a scarf. She returned home breathless and developed a severe headache. Later that evening, she suffered a small stroke during the night. Her doctor linked it to a spike in blood pressure caused by sudden cold exposure and overexertion. To protect yourself, adjust your walking routine to match the temperature. On hot days, walk early in the morning or in the evening when it's cooler. Wear light, breathable clothing, a hat and sunglasses, and carry water. Dress in layers on cold days, and always warm up indoors before stepping outside. Cover your neck, mouth, and hands to protect blood vessels from sharp temperature changes. Pay attention to how your body responds to temperature. Fatigue, dizziness, or shortness of breath are signals to pause or head back inside. Do not push through discomfort thinking it will pass. Your brain and heart need stability, not stress. Each season requires small adjustments to keep walking safe. Respect the weather as part of your health plan, and you'll continue walking confidently through all conditions. Sleep and walking may seem like separate parts of your day, but they are deeply connected. The quality of your sleep affects how your body responds to physical activity, and your walking habits influence how well you sleep. Poor sleep can raise blood pressure, disrupt circulation, and reduce your ability to recover after exercise, which in turn raises your risk of vascular events like stroke. As we age deep, restorative sleep becomes harder to achieve. Hormonal changes, medication, side effects, and nighttime bathroom visits can fragment rest. Sleep is the time when your body repairs blood vessels, clears inflammation, and regulates pressure. Walking at the wrong time, or with too much intensity, can interfere with these processes, leaving your system overstimulated when it should be winding down. Mr. Howard Lane, a 75-year-old former teacher, walked briskly every evening, believing it would help him sleep. But he found himself waking often with a pounding heart and shallow breath. A sleep study revealed his nervous system remained in a state of alertness long after exercise due to late walks. His blood pressure stayed elevated during the night, increasing the risk of silent strokes. His doctor recommended shifting his walk to mid-morning and focusing on relaxation before bed. Within weeks, his sleep improved, and so did his blood pressure. To protect your brain and your sleep cycle schedule, walks earlier in the day. Morning walks help regulate your body's circadian rhythm and promote alertness at the right times. If you must walk later, keep the pace gentle and end at least 2 hours before bedtime. Create a calming evening routine with dim lights, soft music, or gentle stretching to tell your body it's time to slow down. Pay attention to how well you sleep after walking. If you feel wired, restless, or wake frequently, your walk may be too late or too intense. Try tracking your sleep patterns along with your walking habits to find the best balance for your body. Everyone is different, but your body will tell you what works when you listen closely. Healthy walking supports healthy sleep, and good sleep supports brain repair and cardiovascular stability. It's a cycle that protects you from within. Walk with the rhythm of your body, not against it, and let each night's rest restore what each day's movement demands. As we reach the final step in this journey, it is time to reflect on how small habits shape our long-term health. For mature adults, walking is more than exercise. It is a declaration of independence, a daily act of self-care and connection with the world. But when done without awareness, it can quietly introduce risks, especially to the brain and heart. That is why understanding your body's unique needs is the key to turning every step into a protective force instead of a silent threat. Across these chapters, we have explored 20 habits that may seem harmless but carry deeper effects when paired with age-related changes in circulation, balance, sleep, and metabolism. We've seen how the timing of a walk, hydration, sun, Exposure, footwear, posture, air quality, and even clothing choices can influence stroke risk. Clots form in silence. Poor posture narrows arteries. Distractions delay the recognition of symptoms, and late-night exercise can disrupt blood pressure when your brain needs peace. Yet none of this knowledge is meant to create fear. Instead, it brings power. You now have tools to recognize early signs of imbalance, adjust your habits, and protect the health of your brain with every walk. Walking should be a gift, not a gamble. When paired with awareness, it remains one of the most beneficial practices for lifelong health and vitality. I think of Mrs. Margaret Hill, an 84-year-old woman from Iowa who survived a mini stroke caused by a clot that likely formed after a cold evening walk. She once told me with deep sincerity I was walking toward health, but in the wrong direction. Her words remind us that intention matters, but direction matters more. When you walk with intention and wisdom, you move toward a stronger brain, a steadier heart, and a richer life. So what can you do starting today? Walk earlier, stay hydrated, wear the right shoes, choose flat surfaces, listen to your body. Protect yourself from extreme weather and give your nervous system time to recover. Walk with friends or let someone you know where you are. Use these habits not as burdens, but as guideposts. Each one helps you return home from your walk, feeling safe, clear-minded, and strong. You are never too old to move, and you are never too wise to stop learning how to move better. Let your next walk be the one where everything changes, not because of fear, but because of understanding. Walk not just to stay active, but to stay present, alive, and connected to yourself.